Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're here, we're going to work on our slot cars, and we're going to add wheels to our cars. So for this project we're using nails for our axles, and we've got your choice of wheels. What I have here are 3D printed wheels, a couple different versions, and I've got some tools to work with. We've got a pair of diagonal cutting pliers, roll of tape, a smooth file, and a pair of bolt cutters. So the first thing I'm going to need is to take my bolt cutters and cut the heads off the nails, because while they were really helpful early in the project, we want to get rid of them. So just put those in the cutters, and you do that by putting one handle of the cutters on the table, and the other hand you can just push down on. So you can hold the car and get a single hand cut. Then you're going to take your file and smooth off the edges that you just created. This will take a few minutes. I'm going to speed things up a little bit. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and file that off. Remember, the files only cut in one direction. The teeth on the file point forward. So just put long smooth stroke on the file, long smooth stroke, long smooth stroke. Once you have all the burrs and things removed from the edge of that and it's smooth and not sharp, then we can go ahead and install the wheels. Different wheels are going to have different size axle holes, and there's going to be a variety of things you'll need to figure out. You got to put your wheels on. So right now I'll just put that wheel on, and it rolled on real easy and smooth. You may need to do something different. Yours may be very, very difficult to put on, which is really what you want. You want a good, tight fit. You want a fit that is what is called an interference fit, so that the wheel interferes with the axle, so that the axle is actually slightly bigger than the hole in the wheel. And what that'll do is, when you have that situation, everything turns together. In this case, both these wheels went on. They went on relatively easily. This one I think went on too easily. So it's pretty darn close, but not perfect. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to check and see, is that the axle length I really want? If it is, then I'm good. If it's not, if I think I want to trim it a little bit, maybe I'll take my bolt cutters and put a mark on there with a Sharpie and trim it down a little bit. If it's loose, if it slides on and it's loose but not super loose, just like you can see it's loose, that I can turn it by hand, but it doesn't fall off. In that case, I could take something like these diagonal cutters that have, you can see that real well, but these diagonal cutters have little cutouts for stripping wires. These are pretty heavy duty. I can pinch the axle in there just a little bit and put a burr on the end. And what that does is, when the wheel goes on, it creates like barbs, like briars to stick in there, and spikes, and that holds it so it doesn't spin. It stays attached. Sometimes you're going to come across wheels that you would like to use that are going to have an axle hole that is substantially bigger than the shaft, and there's a natural tendency to say, well, we'll just fill that with hot glue or something. That doesn't work. It will hold the wheel on, but the problem you're going to run into is that the wheel, when you install it, while it'll look okay, when you go to test it, you go to run it, you'll find that it just doesn't run smooth. It's off center. So it's very difficult to get a wheel like that to have a really good smooth running characteristics. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this tape, and you can see that I've put it on there, and I'm just trying to roll it on as smooth as I possibly can, rotating it around until until the axle is now bigger than it was. And hopefully I now just made it big enough that when I push the tape on, so I'll pinch the end of the tape down a little bit, and well, it's still a little bit too loose, so get them in. And this is called shimming, adding a shim, a piece of material that goes in between two things to fill the gap. Just for sizing purposes, it's called a shim. And so we'll shim that axle, and here you go. And a couple more rotations. All right, that should be good. You can use your dial calipers to get that just right. Just like before, you want you still want that force fit. You still want that interference fit. So you want just a little bit more diameter of axle than you have diameter of the inner bore of your axle hole in the wheel. So once again, that's that interference fit that we're looking for. Take a little bit off there. There we go. And notice I'm twisting it as I put it on. And that'll do a good job. You might need to hold it with a pair of pliers. Because you want a good tight fit on there, so that the wheel and the axle turn together as one. Otherwise, your energy that going from the motor into the gear will not get transferred from the gear to the axle and not finally out to the wheels. So everything that's attached to your axle needs to be good and tight, and then your axle needs to spin freely in the bearing, and you want to have as little play side to side as you can get away with. You're going to need some play side to side, lateral movement, but you can keep just a small gap off using your bearings there that you installed earlier. So that's how you install the rear wheels. The front wheels are pretty much the same thing. Of course, you can, if you choose, you don't have to necessarily cut that head off. You can slide that all the way up to the end like that, and then just put the front wheels on. And you can cut the bolts off, or get the axles to whatever length you need. But if you're a little loose, this guy's just a tiny bit loose, I'll put a burr in here. There we go. Just a little burr, and that little burr will make it very difficult for me to get that wheel on and off, which is exactly what I want. We want it to be on, stay on, and run smooth, and have just a small amount of play side to side. I can cut the extra off later. All right, you're ready for your next step. Good luck, have fun, as always, keep being awesome.